The wind isn't the real threat, the water is. Here is what you need to do in the next 48 hours. In less than 24 hours, probability forecasts jump from 20% to 80%, rapidly solidifying into a named tropical system off the coast. Welcome back to Red Sky Report. I am Newser. If you live anywhere along low-lying coastal plains or interior river valleys, today is the day to execute your family preparedness plan. According to official advisories from the National Hurricane Center and the National Weather Service, atmospheric conditions across the basin have shifted noticeably over the last 12 hours. Upper-level wind shear has decreased significantly, allowing warm oceanic heat content to feed directly into the central core of this disturbance. Satellite loops show deep convection, wrapping consistently around the low-level circulation center. What began as a disorganized tropical wave is now generating widespread tropical storm force winds and torrential bands of rain stretching hundreds of miles outward from the core. NOAA radar networks are already picking up outer rain bands, making landfall along barrier islands and coastal communities. The primary message from meteorologists today is clear: do not focus solely on the center line of the forecast cone. Hazards extend far beyond the narrow track line, and early preparation is your best defense against unexpected rapid organization. When a tropical system approaches, public attention naturally gravitates toward maximum sustained wind speeds. However, historic data from the National Weather Service demonstrates that inland flooding and coastal storm surge consistently represent the greatest threats to life and property. As the system moves slowly toward the coastline, heavy rainfall will accumulate rapidly over already saturated soils across eastern counties. Forecast models indicate localized rainfall totals exceeding 8 to 12 inches over the next 48 hours. When rain falls at rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour, storm drainage systems in urban areas become overwhelmed almost immediately. Creeks, streams, and low-lying intersections will see rapid water rises before official warnings can even be issued for every specific street. In downtown corridors, water runoff cannot absorb into concrete, turning asphalt streets into active waterways within minutes. Additionally, coastal communities face a dual threat from wind and tide. Onshore winds driven by counterclockwise circulation will push ocean water directly toward the coastline, creating significant storm surge during high tide cycles. Even a modest surge of 2 to 4 feet above ground level can inundate coastal roadways, isolate low-lying neighborhoods, and cause severe shoreline erosion. According to forecasters at the National Hurricane Center, the timing of maximum storm surge relative to high tide will be the essential factor in determining local coastal flooding severity. Understanding how these tropical systems interact with broader atmospheric features is key to anticipating their true consequences on the ground. As the storm tracks north-northwest, it is interacting with a weak ridge of high pressure to the east and an approaching upper-level trough from the west. This atmospheric steering current is expected to slow the forward movement of the storm over the next 36 hours. A slowing tropical system is always a major concern for forecasters at NOAA. Slow movement extends the duration of heavy rainfall, prolongs high wind exposure on coastal structures, and keeps coastal tide levels elevated through multiple high tide cycles over several calendar days. Forecasters state that local ground conditions are already primed for maximum runoff in several counties due to recent atmospheric moisture. When heavy tropical downpours fall on ground that is already full of moisture, the soil cannot absorb additional water. This means almost 100% of incoming precipitation converts directly into surface runoff, accelerating river crests and urban flooding. Trees rooted in saturated soil lose their structural anchor. Even sub-hurricane force wind gusts reaching 45 to 55 miles per hour can easily uproot mature trees. When trees fall into overhead utility lines, widespread power outages become a high-probability event across the entire warning area. Utility crews are pre-positioning assets and repair vehicles in adjacent regions, but high winds and localized road flooding will likely delay power restoration efforts until weather conditions stabilize. To make matters more complex, the wind field of a slowing storm expands outward over time. Tropical storm force winds will reach far beyond the central core, affecting communities that may feel distant from the central track. Bridges and elevated causeways connecting barrier islands to the mainland may face temporary closures if sustained winds exceed 40 miles per hour. Local emergency management agencies advise residents on barrier islands to finalize travel across causeways early before crosswinds make high-profile vehicle transit hazardous. Coastal marine traffic should also remain in port, as sea heights in offshore waters build significantly over the next day. Small craft advisories and gale warnings are already active for coastal waters from southern bays to outer shipping lanes. As water piles up against estuaries, inland river tributaries will experience backwater flooding, preventing normal drainage from inland streams into the bay. A lower category rating or even a below normal seasonal outlook does not equal zero operational risk for your specific neighborhood. Storm velocity, slow forward movement, and local soil saturation often dictate ground impact far more than peak wind speed numbers alone. Treating every approaching tropical system with structured, early preparation ensures safety regardless of sudden shifts in track intensity or category classification. This distinction between system category and real-world ground consequence is something every coastal resident must keep in mind. Atmospheric science has advanced significantly in tracking accuracy, but local geographic factors, such as elevation, drainage efficiency, and tree canopy density, determine what happens in your backyard. A slow-moving tropical storm can produce far more catastrophic inland flooding than a fast-moving major hurricane. That is why relying strictly on the named category is a mistake. Pay close attention to localized flood watches and high wind advisories issued by your local National Weather Service forecast office. Now let us turn to concrete action. Here is your professional game plan for the next 24 to 48 hours to protect your household, property, and family. First, understand local weather alerts and act accordingly. A tropical storm watch means tropical storm conditions are possible within 48 hours. A tropical storm warning means those conditions are expected within 36 hours. When a warning is issued for your area, finalize outdoor preparations immediately. Secure outdoor patio furniture, trash cans, loose garden equipment, construction materials, and potted plants that could become dangerous windborne projectiles during heavy wind gusts. Second, prepare your home interior and critical utilities safely. Locate your main electrical circuit breaker panel today. If floodwaters begin rising toward your home and threaten lower electrical outlets, safely shut off the main breaker before water reaches electrical connections. Move important personal documents, insurance records, family heirlooms, and valuable electronics off floor level to upper shelves or upper floors. Store at least a 3-day supply of drinking water, prescription medications, and essential medical supplies in waterproof containers. Third, exercise extreme caution on roadways and know your evacuation route. If local authorities issue an evacuation advisory for your zone, know your designated evacuation route and leave early before causeways close. If you must drive during outer rain bands, remember the gold standard safety rule from the National Weather Service. Turn around, don't drown. Never drive through flooded intersections, underpasses, or low water crossings. It takes only 12 inches of moving water to carry away a small passenger vehicle, and 2 feet of rushing water can sweep away heavy SUVs and trucks. Floodwaters often conceal collapsed pavement, deep washed-out ditches, and downed power lines carrying live electrical current. Fourth, prepare for potential power loss and check on your community. Fully charge all cell phones, portable power banks, laptop batteries, and essential medical devices before weather conditions deteriorate. Set your refrigerator and freezer to their coldest settings so food stays preserved longer if electrical power fails. Keep manual flashlights and extra batteries in easily accessible locations throughout your home, avoiding open candles due to severe fire hazards during storm events. Check in on elderly family members, neighbors living alone, or those with mobility challenges to confirm they have a clear plan and necessary supplies in place. By executing these practical steps today, you significantly reduce risk to your household and ensure you are ready for whatever this system delivers over the coming days. Our team at Red Sky Report will continue monitoring radar feeds, NHC advisories, and NWS bulletins around the clock to bring you accurate, consequence-focused updates without unnecessary noise. What city or county are you tuning in from today? Let us know down in the comments below so we can keep tracking specific local updates and weather conditions for your community. If you found this update useful, please hit the like button and subscribe to stay informed throughout the tropical season. Stay dry, stay ready.